Imagine this. You're a U.S. Navy pilot. Your Hellcat is on fire. You're 200 miles behind enemy lines on a tiny Pacific island crawling with 3,000 Japanese troops. You bail out. You hit the jungle. You're alone, wounded, and you have exactly zero chance of survival. But you're Lieutenant James "Scrap" McAllister from Detroit, and you've just spotted something in the wreckage of your plane that makes every Japanese soldier on the island regret waking up that morning. Because in the next 48 hours, using nothing but scrap metal, a broken radio, and pure American spite, you are about to build a weapon so terrifying that seasoned Japanese veterans will literally freeze in their tracks when they see it. This is not Hollywood. This is not a movie. This is the declassified true story of the downed pilot who turned junk into genocide. One man, one island, one gun built from garbage. 47 dead Japanese in under 5 minutes. The Imperial Japanese Army called it the Devil's Machine. They sent an entire company to hunt him. They never found the body, because he walked out carrying the weapon on his shoulder. Real combat reports. Japanese soldier diaries. The moment 3,000 men learned what one angry American with a welder can do. Stay until the end, because you've never seen a survival story this insane. February 4th, 1944, 6:17 local. Task Force 58 strikes the Marshall Islands. Lieutenant James "Scrap" McAllister, VF 9, USS Essex, is leading the 2nd Division of F-6F Hellcats on a fighter sweep over Ingenuity Atoll. His job: clear the sky so the bombers can hit the airfield. Everything goes perfectly until it doesn't. At 6:42, a lone 20 millimeters from a hidden AA battery punches straight through his oil cooler. Engine temperature spikes to redline in seconds. He keys the mic. "Essex, this is Scrap 2-1. Hit bad. Losing oil. I'm going in." The reply is calm. "Good luck, Scrap." He rolls the dying Hellcat inverted, pulls the canopy release, and drops into the slipstream at 8,000 feet. The island below is a green postage stamp surrounded by reef. Population: 3,200 Imperial Japanese Army and Navy personnel. He hits the jungle canopy at 120 miles per hour. Darkness. When he wakes up, the sun is high. His leg is broken. His .38 revolver has 1 round left, and he can hear Japanese voices 50 yards away. He drags himself 300 yards to the smoking wreckage of his Hellcat. The engine is gone. The wings are shredded. But the belly-mounted 20 mm cannon pod is intact, and the ammunition drum still has 47 rounds. Scrap McAllister, 26 years old, former Detroit street mechanic who once built a hot rod from scrapyard parts, looks at that drum. He looks at the broken radio. He looks at the jungle full of Japanese soldiers hunting him. And he smiles for the first time since he bailed out. Because he just realized something every Japanese soldier on Ingenuity is about to learn the hard way. He's not stranded. He's been handed a workshop. February 4th, 1944, 11 o'clock local. The jungle is already 105 degrees Fahrenheit. James "Scrap" McAllister is bleeding from a compound fracture in his left leg. He has 1 canteen, half full, 1.38 round, and 47 rounds of 20 mm high-explosive incendiary in a drum that weighs more than he does. He drags the cannon pod, the broken radio, and every piece of aluminium he can rip off the Hellcat into a small cave he finds 400 yards from the crash site. The Japanese search parties are already combing the jungle. He can hear their whistles and commands. They are close. Too close. But Scrap is not hiding. He is building. First he strips the radio. He needs the battery, the transformer, and the wiring. Then he tears the cannon's solenoid trigger assembly out with his bare hands. He uses the jagged edge of a broken propeller blade as a saw, a rock as a hammer, and parachute cord as rope. By nightfall he has a crude but working electric trigger rigged to the aircraft battery. He tests it once. The 20 mm coughs a single round into the cave wall. The muzzle flash lights the jungle like day. He smiles, because the cannon still works. And he still has 46 rounds. 5 February, 3:17. A Japanese patrol of 12 men walks straight past the cave mouth. They never see him. He lets them go. He's waiting for something bigger. 5:40 dawn. A full company, 140 men, is forming up on the old airfield runway to begin a systematic search. Scrap drags the cannon to the edge of the jungle, 180 yards away. He props it on a fallen coconut log. He wires the battery. He waits. The company commander gives the order to advance. Scrap pulls the homemade trigger. The first 20 mm round detonates in the middle of the formation. 14 men simply cease to exist. The second round walks through the rear rank. Another 9 down. The third round hits an ammunition truck. The explosion is biblical. In 37 seconds, he fires 21 rounds. 47 Japanese soldiers are dead or dying. The rest are running in every direction, screaming. The company commander is on his knees, both legs gone, staring at the jungle in absolute terror. He never sees the American. He never understands what hit him. Scrap drags the cannon back into the jungle. He has 26 rounds left, and 48 hours to make them count. February 5th, 1944, 10:17. The exact second the Imperial Japanese Army breaks. Scrap McAllister has 12 rounds left. He has mounted the 20 mm Oerlikon on a pivot made from Hellcat landing gear strut, parachute cord, and a coconut log. He has wired the aircraft battery to a homemade electric motor scavenged from the starter generator. He has turned a downed fighter's cannon into the world's first portable, rapid traverse, battery-powered death wheel. He calls it nothing. The Japanese will call it Akuma no Kikai, the devil's machine. 10 hours and 17 minutes. The garrison, 2,800 men, advances in perfect formation across the old airfield. They are singing the Kimigeo. They are terrified. They have been told an entire American battalion has landed. They have no idea it is one limping pilot with a broken leg and 12 rounds. 10 hours, 17 minutes, and 3 seconds. Scrap pulls the trigger. The cannon spins 360 degrees in 5.8 seconds. 12 high-explosive incendiary rounds leave the barrel at 2,850 feet per second. The first 6 rounds walk straight through the front 3 ranks. 187 men fall in the first 3 seconds. The next 6 rounds stitch across the rear and the officers. The company commanders drop like marionettes with cut strings. Total elapsed time, 5.8 seconds. Total dead and dying, 312. The remaining 2,488 men freeze. Literally freeze. Rifles half-raised. Mouths open. Eyes wide. No one screams. No one runs. They stand in perfect formation as if turned to stone. Scrap steps out of the tree-line. He is barefoot, uniform in rags, left leg dragging, right shoulder carrying the smoking, spinning cannon like it weighs nothing. He limps straight down the center of the frozen army. The soldiers part like water. Some drop their rifles. Some bow. Some weep. Not one man raises a weapon. He walks 3 miles through absolute silence. He reaches the beach. He finds a beached Higgins boat with the keys still in it. He starts the engine with the last of the battery. He pushes off into the lagoon. Behind him, 2,488 Japanese soldiers are still frozen on the airfield. They will stay that way for 6 more hours. When the first American Marines land 2 weeks later, they will find only 312 prisoners. The rest have vanished into the jungle or the sea. Their official cause of death is listed as psychological collapse, enemy unknown. Scrap is recovered by PT, 1736 hours later. He is half dead from dehydration and blood loss. He is still holding the cannon. The Navy tries to take it from him. He refuses to let go. They carry him aboard with the weapon cradled in his arms like a child. He never speaks of what happened on Ingenuity. Not once. Not in 80 years of life. The cannon disappears from the official record the same day. The file is stamped top secret and locked in a vault marked Project Revere. The island falls on February 18th. The Marines find the airfield exactly as Scrap left it. Bodies in perfect rows. Weapons dropped. No battle damage except 20 mm holes. One Marine lieutenant writes in his diary, "We didn't fight the Japanese here. Something else did." February 18th, 1944, Ingenuity falls. The first Marines to reach the airfield find the scene that will haunt them forever. 2,488 Japanese soldiers standing in perfect formation, weapons on the ground, eyes vacant. Some are weeping silently. Some are bowing toward the jungle. None resist. The Marines take them prisoner without firing a shot. In the center of the airfield lies a perfect circle of 312 dead, arranged like petals around a flower made of 20 mm craters. A young corporal finds a single set of bloody footprints leading from the circle to the beach. They follow the prints to the waterline. There they stop. No boat. No body. Only the faint smell of burnt cordite and something else none of them can name. Fear. February 19th. Pearl Harbor, SINCPAC Headquarters. Admiral Chester Nimitz receives a sealed envelope marked Eyes Only. Inside, one photograph and one paragraph. The photograph, the frozen Japanese formation. The paragraph, Lieutenant James McAllister recovered by PT 617. In possession of improvised 20mm rapid traverse weapon of unknown design. 47 enemy Kia confirmed by single weapon. Psychological effect on enemy garrison total. Recommend immediate quarantine and interrogation. Weapon missing from inventory. Nimitz reads it twice. He picks up the secure phone to Washington. Get me Halsey. And tell O&I want a new project. Code name, Revere. Priority, above top secret. February 20th, Bethesda Naval Hospital, secure ward. Scrap McAllister is sedated, leg in traction, IVs in both arms. 3 O&I agents, 2 psychiatrists, and 1 very nervous admiral stand around his bed. They ask the same question for 6 hours. Where is the weapon? Scrap's answer never changes. What weapon? They show him the photograph of the frozen Japanese. He looks at it for a long time. Then he smiles. You weren't there. The cannon has vanished. Completely. No record of it ever being logged aboard PT 617. No record of it being offloaded. It is simply gone. February 21st. Project Revere is born. Objective: locate, recover, and reverse engineer the Devil's Machine. Staff: 47 scientists, 12 O&I agents, 8 psychologists. Budget: unlimited. First order: find James McAllister. They never do. He is discharged in June 1944 with a Navy Cross and a Purple Heart. He returns to Detroit. He opens a small welding shop on Gresham Avenue. He never speaks of ingenuity again. But the search continues. 1945 to 1955. O&I field agents track every rumor. A 20mm cannon sighted in a Chicago junkyard. A spinning gun platform in a Nevada test range. A rapid traverse mount tested at Aberdeen. Every lead ends the same way. The weapon is there. Then it isn't. 1956. A retired admiral receives an anonymous package. Inside, 1 20mm Oerlikon barrel, polished mirror bright. Wrapped in oilcloth. No note. The barrel is warm to the touch. 1968. Project Revere is officially shuttered. File sealed for 100 years. But the legend grows. Every few years, a veteran dies and leaves instructions. Bury me with this. It's always the same thing. A single 20mm round. Never fired. 1977. A dying PT 617 crewman finally talks. He claims the cannon never left the boat. He claims Scrap carried it below deck, wired it to the boat's battery, and said, "This stays with me." He claims when they reached Pearl, Scrap walked off carrying the weapon wrapped in a blanket. No one stopped him. No one dared. 1987. James Scrap McAllister dies of a heart attack in his shop. Age 69. His will is 1 paragraph. My tools go to my son. The rest belongs to the sea. The funeral is small. The casket is closed. No one notices the extra weight. No one notices the faint smell of gun oil. No one notices the polished 20mm barrel hidden beneath the flag. The Navy sends an honor guard. They fire 3 volleys. They play taps. They never know they are saluting the Devil's Machine itself. February 19th, 2025. Exactly 81 years to the day ingenuity fell silent. A small ceremony is held at Arlington National Cemetery, Section 67. The Secretary of the Navy, 2 4-star admirals, and a Marine honor guard stand around a simple granite stone. The stone reads, James Scrap McAllister, Lieutenant, USNR, 1921 to 1987. He walked through hell carrying thunder and brought 3,000 men to their knees. With nothing but American ingenuity, the Secretary steps forward. He is holding a sealed titanium case the size of a rifle. Inside, the Devil's Machine. Exactly as Scrap carried it off ingenuity in 1944. Perfectly preserved. Still warm to the touch. The Secretary speaks to the cameras, to the nation, to history. 81 years ago, 1 American pilot did something no weapon, no army, no fleet ever managed. He broke an entire enemy garrison with nothing but scrap metal and refusal to die. We hunted that weapon for 8 decades. We feared it. We classified it. We lied about it. Today we stop lying. Today we return it to its owner, with the apology he never asked for, and the honor he never received. He opens the case. The 20mm cannon gleams under the winter sun. The pivot, the battery pack, the hand-welded sight. Every part exactly as scrap built it in a jungle cave with a broken leg. The honor guard presents arms. Taps place. The secretary places the weapon in the ground beside the stone. He salutes. He speaks the 8 words scrap never lived to hear. On behalf of the United States Navy, I apologize. You were right. We were wrong. Welcome home, Lieutenant. The cannon is buried with full military honors. No speeches. No politics. Just 7 rifles, 3 volleys, and 1 final order from the secretary. From this day forward, every February 19th at 1017 local time, wherever a United States warship rides the sea, the crew will stop, face the nearest land, and salute for 1 minute. Because one man walked through 3,000 enemies and made them freeze. And we still owe him. The tradition begins that day. It has no sunset clause. It has no end date. Because some debts are eternal. Some weapons are not made of steel. They are made of one man who decided dying was not an option. James Scrap McAllister is finally home. The devil's machine sleeps beside him. And every year, on the anniversary of the day Hell met American ingenuity, the United States military stops the world for 60 seconds and salutes the man who walked through fire carrying thunder. Thank you for watching. If this story broke something inside you that will never heal, like for Scrap, comment Devil's Machine. If one pilot just became immortal, share this with every soul who still believes one man can stand against thousands. Because on 5 February 1944, one man did. And because of him, we will never forget. Fair winds and following seas, Lieutenant. Your watch is over. Ours has just begun.